If you run a business with a website, you've probably asked yourself this 1,000 times. Is my ranking on Google actually making me any money? It's a great question. And today, we're going to make the answer super simple. We're going to connect all the dots from that #1 spot on Google straight to your bank account. So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why getting on page 1 is such a huge deal. Then we'll get into the actual rules of the game, what Google is looking for. After that, we'll see how to turn all those website visitors into real business. And finally, the grand finale. We'll put it all together with the exact formula to calculate your return on investment. All right, let's jump right in. Before we start crunching numbers, we have to understand what we're even fighting for. And that is the grand prize, a spot on the first page of Google.
I mean, seriously, think about it for a second. When was the last time you went to page 2 of Google's search results? Yeah, me neither. The hard truth is, if you're not on that first page, you're practically invisible.
And this chart, wow, it just lays out the brutal reality of how we all search. AMSIV's data shows that the #1 spot gets a massive 45% of all the clicks. Now look at the drop-off to just the second position. It plummets to 15%. It's an absolute cliff. By the time you get to the bottom of the page, you're basically fighting for crumbs.
And this quote just hammers the point home. Nearly 3/4 of everyone searching for something clicks on one of those top 3 results. This isn't just about ego. It's about being where the audience actually is. The entire game is really won or lost right there at the very top.
Okay, so we know those top spots are pure gold. The million-dollar question is, how do you actually get there? Well, it's not magic and it's not luck. It's all about playing by Google's rules. And lucky for us, Google is pretty clear about what it wants. So what's in Google's playbook? Well, according to sources like Monster Insights, these are the absolute pillars. It all starts with high-quality content that genuinely helps the person searching. Then you've got backlinks, which are basically votes of confidence from other websites. And of course, the technical stuff, like a fast website that works on your phone and is secure. Those are just table stakes these days. But it goes way deeper than just the technicals now. Google has this big idea it calls EE8. It's an acronym that stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Basically, Google wants to reward content from people who actually know what they're talking about. Are you legit? Are you a real expert? Can people trust you? That's what matters. And what this means for you is that you can stop worrying about all those old-school, outdated tricks. Forget about stuffing keywords everywhere or trying to hit some magical word count. Google's own guides are telling us to focus on one thing: creating truly helpful content for actual human beings, showing you're an expert, and making sure your website is a breeze to use. Simple as that. All right, so you did it. You followed the rules, you put in the work, and now you're ranking high and the clicks are flowing in. That is awesome. But clicks don't pay the bills, right? Now we've got to connect all that traffic to actual, tangible business results. Think of it like this, a value chain. It's a really logical path. First, you get the high ranking. That ranking earns you the clicks and the traffic. Now, if you did your homework and targeted the right search terms, those visitors are actually qualified. They're looking for what you offer. And a qualified visitor, well, they're much, much more likely to become a customer. Now, for an e-commerce business, a conversion is pretty simple, right? It's the ka-ching. Someone searches for a product, finds your page, adds it to their cart, and clicks buy. The value is clear. It's the price of that item. It's a nice, clean, direct line from a search to revenue. But what if you don't sell stuff directly online? What if you're a software company, or a contractor, or a local moving company? For a lot of businesses, a conversion looks different. The goal here is to just start a relationship. Someone fills out a contact form or requests a quote. That lead might not have an immediate price tag, but it's got huge potential value down the road. And this, my friends, is where it all comes together. This is the moment we've been building up to. We've got the traffic, we've defined our conversions, and now we're ready to do the math. We're going to break down the simple formula that finally proves the value of all your hard work. And here it is, the big formula for ROI. Don't worry, it looks more intimidating than it is. It's really simple. You take the money you made from SEO, you subtract what it cost you to get it, and then you divide that profit by your cost. The number you get is the exact return for every dollar you put in. So let's figure out how to find those numbers. So first things first, what are we counting as a cost? Well, it's the whole shebang. You have to add up everything. That means salaries for your team, any money you pay an agency, the subscriptions for your fancy SEO tools, and of course, the cost to actually create all that great content. That total number is the cost of SEO in our formula. Okay, now for the fun part, the revenue. If you're e-commerce, it's easy. Google Analytics can show you exactly how many sales came from organic search. But if you're a lead-based business, there's just one extra step. You figure out what a customer is worth to you over their lifetime, and then based on how often your sales team closes a lead, you can assign a real concrete dollar value to every single person who fills out that form.
Let's look at some real-world examples from CO Profi, because this is where it gets exciting. Here we have a jewelry store. They invested almost $500,000 over 5 years. The result? A 424% return on investment. That means for every single dollar they spent, they got back more than $4 in profit. Not bad.
But hold on, because it gets even crazier, especially when the lifetime value of a customer is really high. This software company saw a return of nearly 2,000%. Think about it. Each customer they got from a Google search was going to pay them every single month for years. That makes that initial ranking incredibly valuable.
And this last one, this is for all the local businesses out there. It shows the insane power of local search. A moving company invested $250,000 to rank for local searches, and they got a mind-blowing 3,217% ROI. For every dollar they spent to show up when someone nearby searched movers near me, they made over $32 back. Just incredible. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Your Google ranking isn't just some vanity metric on a report. It is a real, tangible business asset, just like your delivery trucks or your office space. It generates measurable revenue. The only question left is, do you know what yours is actually worth?